Today on the channel, we're looking at figure number 2 in the HasLab Dragonfly XH1 Assault Copter series. We're looking at Ripcord on We I Got It Figured.
The way I got it figured.
What's up, figure fans? We I Got It Figured, back with another G.I.Joe Classified Series review. This time, we're looking at number 143, Ripcord, aka Wallace Weems, part of Night Force. And we're going to get into him very quickly. So, of course, he is a part of the Dragonfly campaign, and this is the Night Force version of Ripcord, which he didn't really have a Night Force version back in the day, but many characters have gotten Night Force versions that didn't have them back in the day. So this is going to be the first version of this figure that we'll get a normal version of in a regular line at some point down the line. I'm an avowed Night Force fan, so I like the fact that they're adding a bunch of guys to Night Force. I think of the special teams of G.I. Joe, it's the one that has the most value in a sense. Slaughters, Marauders, Tiger Force, These guys have an actual defined job. They do night missions, so it makes more sense to me. So I've always sort of gravitated toward that as a special team. Ripcord is a character who was introduced in 1984, which would have been the third wave of G.I. Joe carded figures. And he was the Halo jumper for G.I. Joe team. So checking him out real quick in the package. He's got the new universal packaging, as all the figures in the Dragonfly have. We'll go over that very quickly. Here's Ripcord in his package, and he looks pretty cool. On the side, you've got part of the side art for the Dragonfly Copter box. 143. On the other side, you've got his file card symbols and Night Force, and of course the Dragonfly special symbol. And he is a 4 parachutist, 2 light weapons, 2 Ordnance, and 3 Infiltration. On the back, you got a nice portrait of Ripcord. We're going to get him out and see what we've got. All right, so we've got Ripcord out of the package, and I had a minor mishap getting him out. He comes with a pair of goggles, and the goggles fell out of the package as I was pulling them out. It was kind of a weird thing, and they fell into my rather cluttered shooting area, so I'm going to have to find them, which might take a minute, certainly longer than I have to shoot this video. So not going to have the goggles for this, but I'll show them in another video. But we have the bulk of his stuff, and honestly, I probably wouldn't use the goggles anyway, based on kind of what's going on with his helmet and stuff like that. But we're going to get into that. So he comes with a parachute pack, and there's no parachute in it. I believe it opens. It does. It opens so that you can put a parachute or some kind of cloth in there to make it look like a parachute. You got the I don't want to call it a gas mask, but like the aerator or whatever that you use for halo jumping. He amusingly comes with the classic G.I. Joe Classified Series Nerf pistol. And then he has a couple of weapons we've seen before. The Steel Corps Troopers, the Vipers, they come with these weapons here. This one is at least similar to his classic weapon. And of course the magazines in both are removable. And then you have his halo jumping helmet, which I'm sure could double as a pilot's helmet. So if we ever get Ace, they'll probably give him this helmet. And it's got a little night sight on the side of it. That's kind of cool. And then the goggles were like black with blue lenses. And like I said, they're temporarily missing, but we will have them at some point in some video, hopefully before we finish this series. So checking out Wallace Weems himself. He is rocking Night Force colors, black and green with a gray undershirt, kind of, not an undershirt, but you know, an undersuit shirt. Looks pretty cool. Portrait looks pretty good. Don't know why Falcon has to, you know, every time I see something like this, it makes me think how Falcon like just sucks. But he looks good. Looks great. He's not super tight. He's not super loose. And he's definitely sharing some parts with Wild Bill. The legs, particularly, they're like flight suit legs, halo jumper legs. Makes perfect sense. He does have different boots than Wild Bill because Wild Bill's wearing cowboy boots, and he has a altimeter, I guess, on his arm, and so he looks pretty decent that way. So we're gonna get him geared up real quick, and be right back. All right, so we've got Ripcord geared up, at least the best that I could get him geared up. So everything fits on well enough. The backpack, the parachute fits on pretty good. It's a little tough to get his straps adjusted. The helmet works pretty good, but it takes a little bit of patience to get the halo mask on. And I never could get the cord to get down in the little oxygen uh, pouch on his side. So, but it's close enough for government work. It looks well enough. Works, I guess, well enough. I would like it to work perfectly, of course, like everybody else would. Maybe it'll work a little bit better on the regular version of Ripcord in the future. We'll see. Uh, if I spent enough time with it, I'm sure I could get it to work, but I didn't want to be a half hour doing that. So there he is, and he does look pretty good. And the gun, again, that they gave him is at least reminiscent of his original gun, so kind of like that. And he does look the part. I mean, it's a pretty cool figure. You can sort of raise the visor. But he looks good. He looks great. There you go. So we'll bring in a couple of comparisons and get you some final thoughts. So we've got Ripcord with his Night Force teammates, Big Ben and Shockwave. And he does look quite good with the other Night Force members. I probably could have pulled out a few more just to get a bigger kind of Night Force cast going, but I wanted to keep this video short So I'm just going to go with these two. But, you know, he's right on point, right on theme with these guys. And since they don't really have a lot of correlation together, especially Big Ben, who wasn't a member of the classic version of Night Force, I felt like these three guys would be just as good as any together. But that's great. They look good. And that's going to be your comparisons. I'm going to move on to final thoughts. Final thoughts on G.I. Joe Classified Series number 143, Night Force Ripcord, part of the Dragonfly XH1 HasLab campaign. I think he's a pretty good figure. Not perfect, but definitely good, very good. I will definitely give him a 9 out of 10 where I got a figure rank. I think he's a pretty good addition to Night Force, and I like Night Force, so there you go. I'll be certainly looking forward to the regular version of Ripcord. My G.I. Joe Classified Series collection will probably encompass everything up to 1986, and then, it starts to taper off 87, 88, and 89, and so forth. But this is a great start for Ripcord. We'll be continuing our look at the Dragonfly and the figures that accompany it tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. Tomorrow will be Glenda, number 144, and hopefully we'll see you here again. That's going to do it for this one. Till next time, happy collecting. Everybody stay safe. See you on the next video. Peace.
The way I got it figured.